So I guess I have some explaining to do now. Alrighty. So, we're back on my YouTube channel. The most durable channel. Almost as if made of steel. I thought of that. Well, actually, my mom thought of that and threw it my way, saying, your channel's made of steel, like Steel Frodo. Ha! So there's a lot to what has happened over the past few days. Most of which I actually did cover in my rather shouty, angry video. And this isn't a scripted thing. I haven't written my thoughts down. I've just kind of thought of how I'm going to address what's happened and how things are going to proceed for the future of this channel. And hopefully you all will understand where I'm coming from. And you'll see sort of my perspective and what actually went down after I posted that very rage-filled video. So we're just gonna get right into that. So I'm gonna start reading now. So after I posted that video, that very, very angry, shouting at the video, crying at the video, coming to terms with the fact that I was going to lose my channel, after I posted that video, where I basically went through every stage of grief, I received an email, keep in mind 2 days before my channel was scheduled to be just completely terminated. And it says, Dear Garrett, so right off the bat, they're addressing me in a different manner than they have previous. I said, Dear Garrett, this is the company, keep in mind that I was very angry with, the company that struck my videos. First of all, so I guess it is a single person that I was dealing with, so it is what it is, I suppose. It says, I sent you an email on June 11th, including the sentence, if the other infringing uploads are not removed within 24 hours, we will start reporting them as well. As we got no reply after 24 hours, we started reporting the other videos as well. I hope we can agree that 24 hours is a very specific time frame, and they linked a screenshot of the email they sent. And the email they sent, now this would have cleared things up, like, immediately. Like, when I started emailing them back, if I had not gotten, like, a really snarky, rude response, this one screenshot would have immediately cleared everything up. So I'm going to put that up front. When I started saying that I had no idea what time frame they were referring to, I didn't. And so they put a screenshot in there, and I took a look, and the email address that they had sent was Garel, Garell.Crespo at Outlook. Now, I have never used an Outlook account once in my life. In fact, I went from MSN straight to Gmail, and that's all I've ever had, ever. That was it, period. I never use anything else. And so when I saw that they were sending that, immediately I'm just like, okay, this is not my email by any stretch of the imagination, so I see why I never got the notice that they were referring to. They go on to say, regarding the rest of your email, in cases where we have to strike a video which leads to account termination, although the channel itself tends to go to the review direction, which is what we're doing, we research about the channel owner and his/her reaction about the ongoing process. So they actually keep an eye out and watch and see what we do. We try to figure out if, in case we retract the strikes, this person will really change. So they're kind of making their own judgment call. I could have my own issues with this, but at this point I really don't care, because what's done is done. We made this decision to find a way, to keep communities alive, while at the same time we still represent the interests of our clients. So I do get that. I understand. They strike the channel, they post, or they strike the channel, they watch the posts that come out afterwards. And if those posts are basically just a new channel posting the same crap again, then they will go after that channel and not retract the strikes from the channel that they already struck. So I get that. I think it's kind of odd that this company is... I mean, I appreciate that they are this invested, but I also... It's just kind of weird. But we're going to get into my full feelings about the way they handled themselves after I made this video. We're gonna get into that. So anyway, we're going to keep going. This, in this case, also included that I ignored your email for a few days. They ignored my email for a few days until now to see if you will, for example, start a new channel and upload the same videos again. Although you keep saying that we do our work very unprofessional, for example, in the video of your new channel. So they did actually watch my video, and they actually watched quite a bit of it, or probably all of it, which I'll show here in a minute. We tried to evaluate all cases properly. For example, refusing to retract our claims while you thought the claims were not authentic and had no intention to stop the infringements in the future, which is true. I had no intention of stopping these because I didn't think they were valid, because I had no idea that this was the same company I'd worked with 3 years ago. I had no idea that they had sent me an email because they were sending it to an Outlook account that I never owned or never made and didn't even know existed. So yeah, I had no intention of stopping at that point. If you send a full list of the videos we striked, I think this is like translated, but either way, if you send us a full list of the videos we striked, please in plain text, no screenshots, and remove all those videos if you had not already. I already have, as you guys have seen, Fairy Tale's, all of Fairy Tale's reactions at this point are gone. There's none left on the channel. Sorry, I went way down from, I think, 14 million total views on my channel to 11. That's how impactful Fairy Tale was, but I can't have the reactions on this channel anymore, and we'll get to why in just a moment. We will retract the claims for those videos. Regards, apparently you don't like the best. You might read something into it I, as non-native speaker, don't see. And I actually addressed this. So I made that comment at the beginning of the video saying, like, oh, best regards, that's the best. I was only saying that because up to that point, the way they had been acting, the best regards seemed very disingenuous. But in this case, it was very different. Clearly, they were working with me, and they were actually willing to talk and see how I would react to having my channel taken down, and they would make a judgment call on whether or not I would change. And another thing to clear up, because I thought that they came in and struck my channel 2 more times and somehow managed to strike privated videos. He actually, or whoever I'm working with here, they clarified, also, we didn't send any claims after our last email. YouTube just processes claims with random time delays. So apparently those strikes were already waiting, and it just so happened that when I received them had already been when the whole shit hit the fan kind of thing had already happened. So that was where I sat at that point. So I respond after this. I said, hello. As I said before, now keep in mind, so I had somebody very close to me who I love dearly tell me that I need to schmooze more, that I need to, and I'm not saying that they're wrong, but I am saying that is not how I do things. Telling me that I need to schmooze, I need to make them feel like they won, tell them exactly what they want to hear. I'll be frank with you, I have never been that way. And there's several reasons for that. The main one is that is not how I was raised, that is not how I was taught to handle business, and as a result, my email that I send back to them, the tone is the same as the tone that I've had with them for this entire interaction. And the person I was talking to was saying, you had no grounds to stand on. They had the upper hand in this situation, so you acting like you're on even footing doesn't make a difference because you aren't going to win because you are at their mercy, basically. And so I need to roll over and show my belly and tell them, okay, I'll do whatever you want. I will never do that. I stand for what I believe in firmly. It's not a pride thing. When you're dealing in business, a company will respect you more if even at the worst point in that interaction where you have nothing to give them, nothing that can compare to the ground that they're standing on. But yet you put your head down and you plow forward and you keep going. Keep moving forward, even if you don't have the means to actually negotiate. When you continue to negotiate, even after you have lost everything. I risked everything by posting that video on my other channel because for all I could have known, they could have taken that the wrong way, struck that channel, deleted that channel, and I would have had to start absolutely from zero. But I didn't, because I took that risk and kept my tone and kept my demeanor and showed my resolve that I was not going to go down without a fight. And as a result, they gave me a second chance. So in this email, this will show I haven't changed my demeanor. My offer and my promise still stands. So this is what I sent. As I said before, I am more than happy to comply. I will send you the full list of videos in a separate, or in an email separate of this one because of how many there are, which I had to actually send a separate email with the links so that way they would actually be able to see it and not have this mess of an email. However, I see now why I never received the email with the time frame that you kept mentioning. The email, the Outlook one, that you used is not my email address and has never been my email address. I apologize for saying the things that I did to a degree. I didn't completely take back what I said because there are still things that I think they could improve on. I think there are things that as a company they need to work on a little bit, like the way they interact, or at least whoever they got to interact the first time around, they really need to work on how they interact with their clients or the people they're working with. They refer to something later that I can see why they're a little abrupt. But in general, if somebody is working to comply, and like in my case with my emails where I'm a bit blunt, but I'm a bit respectful and trying to actually make things work, they need to work on how they interact. But whatever. I said, I I apologize for what I said to a degree, not taking it back entirely, obviously. I apologize for saying the things. I'm all over the place. Hold on, give me a second. I apologize for saying the things that I did to a degree and hope that you understand that the path I'm taking is one that I've been planning to take for quite a while. Fairy Tale was going to be the last series, but now I have a reason to just go straight to the reviews that I've been heading towards for a while now. Again, thank you for being reasonable, giving me a chance, and coming to an agreement with me. They came to an agreement with me. They didn't win. I didn't give them what they wanted. I complied with a request in exchange for another request. That's business. That's how that works. I will be sending you the email with the videos that have been struck very shortly and promptly deleting them once I have access to my account again. Now, I discovered I could actually delete them before I had access to the account, so that was something I ended up deleting. I sent them the link, and then after that, I actually cleared up. I said, in regarding future plans to do reviews, will I be at risk of getting struck by your company again? I ask because these past few days have been more stressful and trying than I would have ever imagined, and I want to do everything in my power to keep something like that from happening again. I hope to hear from you soon so that I can put this behind me. So that we can put this behind us, I made it about both of us, because when you're working with somebody, you want to make them engaged and involved. Yeah, and I also cleared up and said, I don't know who would have replied, because they said something about they just replied to the email that they sent. They replied using that, which is weird because there was a reply to the email that they were using. I don't know who, but it seemed like it was some foreign translated thing. I said, I don't know who would have replied. As you've seen, I never got an email. If I had, I would have complied ASAP. Either way, I appreciate what you've done, and I hope that we can move past this and continue to do the work that we like to do. So, in this, I'm very compliant, while still keeping eye to eye with this company and not breaking eye contact, not faltering, showing my resolve, and trying to make sure that I actually keep things on an even playing field, make sure they understand where I'm coming from, because at this point, I clearly understand what they're trying to do. For the most part, there is something, which is the last email they sent, that really does kind of speak volumes to the kind of community that my work can be misconstrued for. And we're going to get into that right now. If you're in this long, by the way, I think you've probably figured out this is going to be a pretty long video, so buckle in. So before I get to their email, I did send one more saying, just to clear the air a bit, I will be posting a follow-up video, which is this one, about how our recent interaction went. This is significantly more favorable and professional, and I just wanted to send this to let you know. I made my first video based on emotion and anger. Now, I tried to keep my anger... I tried to keep a level head even when I got angry. I tried to make sure that my thoughts were clear, but I did let the anger get the best of me in some instances that I had to bleep. But this has really cleared things up for me. Also, the best regards, I cleared up, the best regards were only brought up because I was angry. Yeah, and also because they seemed kind of disingenuous initially. Thank you for what you've done here. And for actually listening. And then I used best regards because in this case I genuinely mean best regards. They sent one final email to me after my strikes had been cleared. This is 1 a.m., 1:30 in the morning, something like that. So I'm tired. At this point I'd already gone to sleep because I was just like, I'm going to go to sleep now. They're clearing it out and I'll deal with whatever's left in the morning, which there is still one strike sitting. So either I'm going to have to contact them again or YouTube's just taking bloody forever with processing it. I'm not sure yet. They said, Dear Garrett, still saying Dear Garrett, which I appreciate. I actually do appreciate that now that they're kind of being a bit more reasonable. They said, I'm sure that your fans will appreciate to find out why you can continue using your channel now. Though the general attitude of fans towards the topic of online piracy won't really change. Not that you caused this with your first video. Keep in mind, the whole thing with piracy for me, I do not stand for it at all. I hate it. I will call out fans in comments when they post things on my reaction videos saying, make the video bigger, shut up, stop talking, I just want to watch the show. I'll call people out on that because I'll say, this isn't where you can watch anime for free. You can't watch anime for free anywhere. There's always ads, or you got to pay a subscription, or just buy the goddamn Blu-ray. It's not that hard. Piracy is one of the worst things that could possibly be done when it comes to digital media consumption, and I hate it with a passion, a fiery passion, and I have blocked people from this channel who consistently complain about my format. So, that is my stance on piracy. I even sent an email this morning continuing my statement on piracy, but we'll get to that in a minute. To address a few things from that video, it's easy to believe that we only focus on small incidents instead of websites like Kiss Anime and GoGo Anime. Yeah, I said that weird. Or GoGo Anime. But in reality, we do both. Now, the fact that they're referencing the comment I made about Kiss Anime and GoGo Anime means that they watched that video all the way out to at least the 22-minute mark, which is a ton of time to be invested in watching this video, which means they were actually listening. Ugh. I still have indigestion from all this shit. Big illegal websites just spend a lot of money on additional servers, and whenever they are stopped temporarily, they come up with a cover story like server maintenance. The difference is that you will just receive a strike, while these people sooner or later will go to jail. Okay, I get that. I get that approach to piracy. I appreciate it. It's easy to argue that you bought original package releases, DVD, Blu-ray, officially, but overall sales are declining for many years. This is such a weird translation. Anyway, but overall sales are declining for many years. The official VODs can't really compensate for that. When I met with our client previously and congratulated him on the success of one of their new shows, he just replied, yeah, illegally. Which I get. I think considering that they're coming from another country, the perspective is a little different because you're looking, it seems like primarily at your market, which, knowing what I know now, having done all the research I had to do to get to this point, I do see what you're talking about with the German piracy epidemic when it comes to this kind of stuff. And it is. There's a lot of piracy going on in Germany and a lot of European countries. And part of that is also because of the fact that there are not a lot of ways to get videos. You either want to watch it German dubbed, have German subs, which is where fan subbing comes in. There's a lot of things that I've only recently become aware of with the problem of piracy in German and a lot of European countries. Here in the US, I think it is a little different, which is why some of us take it for granted that we support the official release and the content can continue to be made, because while there is still piracy here in the US, things like VRV, Crunchyroll, Funimation, stores like FYE, Second & Charles, and even Best Buy carry anime Blu-rays. So there are many, many, many more legal means, it seems like at least, here in the US for people to purchase anime. And so I think that the perspective they're coming from is correct and accurate from a European German standpoint. I think in the US it is a little different, which is why we have somewhat of a differing opinion. Anyway, that's just my thoughts on that. They continue to say, it's easy to see the own point of view and forget to think of the overall situation. I do get the overall situation, but I know that some people don't. For example, this very next thing they send me, now they blurred the email, and I'm not going to show it on the screen anyway because it doesn't matter. They say, people want free anime. Yes, they do. Have you been reading my comment section? Because, yeah, people do just straight up want free anime sometimes. And everything that stops them from this is bad. That is correct. You get a lot of people who just want straight up free anime, and that's not how this works. That's not how it happens. And so I get where they're coming from, and I do actually understand their frustration and their point of view in this regard. In fact, they send a perfect email, and I'm going to obviously censor myself with the little subscription bar here, but the email they sent was a reply to a takedown notice, which, if you're replying this way, I'm going to preface it this way, if you're replying to a company this way, right out of the gate, you are not helping yourself. They are not the problem at that point. You are actually the problem at this point. When they reply in a very smart aleck and just snarky way after you send a compliant information request, you send something that is polite and courteous, you send that, and then they reply that way, then you are in the right. Then you have a reason to be mad. If you just send this, what I'm about to say, straight out, then you, my friend, are the problem. They send an example email and it says fairy tale fangirl, it's whatever. They blurred the email, so I don't know if it's actually a channel or not. They said, get a life instead of ruining everyone else's. Better yet, go kill yourself. You What is wrong with you? You get a strike on your channel, and instead of trying to negotiate, because you are, when you start a YouTube channel, if you are monetizing videos, you are making money on YouTube, you are creating content for people to view the same way that movies make productions to watch, for people to watch, the same way TV shows make things for producers to send out for video consumption, for people to watch. If you are doing that, making money on it and spending time creating content, you are running a business. People forget that. People don't treat their anime reactions or reviews, they don't treat their YouTube channel like a business, but you are. Money is involved. Fans, views, ad revenue, all of that is involved. Production time, scheduling, all of this is involved, which means that you are, for all intents and purposes, running a business. And if you, as a business owner, go out and say this kind of stuff to a company that is threatening your business, you are not doing yourselves any favors. You are the ones causing the problem. So for this example email, if that channel got struck and that channel is gone, I have no sympathy for them, period. Like, if I saw an email that was like mine, and they did everything that I did and then still didn't get their channel back, then yeah, I would be on the side of the person who lost their channel. But in this case, no. You say that, you are asking to have your channel taken down. Anyway, there's only a little bit left here, so I'm going to finish this up. It said, but free does not pay salaries, neither does it fill budgets for future projects. I agree. Money is important. Money is very important. It's the root of all evil, but it's very important for making things good, for making things in general. Shut up, Siri.
Okay, I changed it.
I didn't ask her to change anything, but okay. Even projects like, they put 2 links to things that they've actually made. You know, there's a rights facts, which is like a FAQ for how copyright works, at least in German. I went to it, and it's fairly, like, it doesn't all apply here to the US, but it's pretty damn close. And then they also have a getanimes.com, which is actually where it shows you all these legal places to watch it. And I've actually been to this site and used it to find places where I'm able to, get shows, watch shows that I'm going to review. They say which we tried to set up in the past. These 2 places they tried to set up in the past were not really accepted by the community. Now, I remember Get Animes as well because, number one, I've used it before, and this goes to show how scatterbrained I am. I've used that before, and I remember knowing about this site and using it to get to places where I can watch these shows, not remembering where I had initially heard about it, which was from a promotion that I was involved in to promote the way of getting anime through Dragon Ball Super and stuff like that. So, whoops! Anyway, they said, so, in that way, the situation is not as easy as it seems when you are angry. Best regards. All right, real talk here. This company, for everything that I have said about this company, their final interaction with me, the last taste in my mouth from how this company handled themselves and came back to me to negotiate. I have mad respect for them in that way. I think they're... So if this was like a phone being made, if this company was a company, let's say, that makes phones, the first interaction that I had with them after sending in a, hey, what do you want me to do? My first interaction with them would have been the equivalent of the Galaxy Note 7. Yeah, this is, okay, cool. They replied, I have the product in my hand. Cool, I got I got the response I was looking for. But then it exploded in my hand. So that is not quite what I wanted. That was not quite what I was expecting, and it left a bad taste in my mouth and damaged the brand reputation with me, because now I think that they are just some smart aleck, crude, crass, unprofessional company, and that's how it was for several interactions. So it's literally like the Note 7. You get the Note 7, it explodes in your hand. They send you another one, and it also has the risk of exploding, and does explode in this instance. Then, after just saying, screw it, I'm not going to bother with this, I'm going to do something else, that was sort of my lasting thought on the company. But then they come back, and they give me, I'm sticking with the phone analogy here, then they come back and they give me the Galaxy S10. And it's well composed, it's very professional, and it is quality assured out the ass. So that final email string that I got from them repaired a lot of my thoughts on the brand and how they handle themselves. I do think that they should probably work on how they handle themselves initially, though I do see why they are as abrupt as they are initially, because they probably deal with a lot of people who don't treat them as professionally as I did, so their initial knee-jerk reaction was somebody replied, just make them know what's going on, and to some degree I understand that. I think now that we're at an understanding, it's better. But overall, my channel's back, and there's one last little thing here that I'm going to talk about before I wrap this video and move on from this ordeal. And that is how I handle myself, and I think how a lot of you should see this as an end result, how you guys should handle yourself if you ever find yourself in a situation this way. And it derives a lot from something that I've had ingrained in me for a very long time. So for those of you who don't know, I was in Boy Scouts for a very long time here in the U.S. And as a result, there are things that, while nowadays scouting is not as good as it was before, it definitely has values that are extremely beneficial to building something up in you that you carry with you for the rest of your life. And so in this, I'm going to use the different kind of pillars that I learned and how I applied them to my channel. First one, trustworthy. I will not be going back on my word with this company. I am trustworthy. I will continue to do reviews of these shows, and now I am transitioning to only reviews for any anime content on this. That is what I told them I would do, and that is what I'm going to do. Trustworthy. Loyal. I have so much loyalty to the fan base of this channel, and when it comes to the kind of interactions that I have with all of you on a regular basis in my comment section, I genuinely take interest in what you have to say. I genuinely take in critiques that you guys want to see get better, because I also want to see my channel get better. So I take those critiques. I am loyal to my fan base. Helpful. I try in any capacity to be helpful with whatever I can, whether somebody needs to pick me up in a comment, whether somebody has a question that I can just quickly respond to in the comment section. And in this case, when I'm clearly in a situation where I can't really be very helpful, I still try to offer, how can I help to fix this problem with this company? How can I help? What can I do to fix what I have done. How can I work with you to make this better? Helpful. Friendly. I came at this in a very friendly, personable demeanor. And I always try to be friendly in these videos. I always try to make sure that my personality doesn't change, but I always try to make sure that my outgoing demeanor is very friendly, very inviting. I try to make sure that as many people can stomach me as possible. So, friendly. Courteous. I try to be very courteous with these folks. When they emailed me, I used the very words courtesy, courteous. I tried to be courteous and professional with this company, and that is something that I will not waver on. When it comes to interacting with somebody, I will be as courteous as possible. Kind. I try to be extremely kind. If there is anything that I can do to make somebody happy in the comments, if there is anything I can do to make sure that somebody can have a better day because of my content, I try to be as kind as possible. I hate getting angry. When I made that video, I felt terrible. I didn't want to make anything else after making that video because I felt so bad for being just as unkind as I was. And so that kind of made me feel terrible, and I try not to be unkind. I want to be kind. Obedient. Obedient has not a great connotation when I talk about it with my compliance with this company, but there are rules to making content on YouTube. There are rules, legal laws in general, that keep these kinds of things from happening and ruining entire industries. And I try to obey those laws and those rules to the best of my ability. And so, with the way that this went down, I'm going to have to be obedient to those. And I was already planning to. I knew what I was doing was a very slippery slope. And now that I am made fully aware of the possible repercussions of those rules and laws, I will be obedient. Cheerful. God, I try to be cheerful. I try to have a smile on my face every time I make a video. I try to make sure that this is engaging, but that it brightens somebody's day. I've said that a lot in this video, this last half of the video, but I try to be as as cheerful as possible. I'm losing my train of thought, but I try to be as cheerful as possible to brighten somebody's day. Thrifty. It doesn't really apply too much to this channel, but when it comes to making content, there is money involved in making these videos, and I try to make sure that I strike a good chord between the money that I use towards this channel and the content and quality that I can make without spending more money. I try to strike a balance of the amount of money I need to make the content at the quality that I require of myself. So Thrifty, I'm going to kind of go just quickly past because there's not really any need to stick on it. Brave. I never once cowered down from creating a new channel, and I never once cowered from facing complete channel and account termination. And people will notice that. People will respect when you don't waver, when you stick to your guns. You are brave. You show that you do not have a fear in the world, that you will face them head on as an adult, as somebody on an even playing field, even if you are at the biggest disadvantage. You showing the courage, the bravery to push forward and continue what you are doing when you know that you have a passion to do it. That is bravery. Clean. Clean's a little weird. Clean is kind of one of those things where it's not so much cleanliness, but more in a lot of ways the way that I make these videos, trying not to curse in the videos unless I absolutely have to or I let one slip. Trying to make sure that this is a family-friendly, something that everybody can watch, that it is clean enough that everybody can watch it, and it's not a terrible, curse-filled, crude channel. So that's where clean comes from. Reverend. I was raised a Christian. I'm not really going to get into faith or politics or anything like that. Those are the two things I try to avoid on this channel, are religion and politics. But continuing to have faith that even at the worst point, there will be a better opportunity. There will be something better coming. And that whether I need to restart the channel or continue with the channel that I have in a different path, I maintained faith that there will be a better tomorrow, a better solution, a better overall final result to what I'm pursuing. And those are all of the pillars of the Boy Scouts: trustworthy, loyal, helpful, friendly, courteous, kind, obedient, cheerful, thrifty, brave, clean, and reverent. And those are all the things that I live by on a daily basis, whether it be work, making content, everything. And the fact that we're back, and the fact that this channel is, back, and that I can continue to make content, even if it's not reactions. I can't do reactions anymore, and I won't do reactions anymore. There's no way in hell I'm going to be doing full anime series reactions anymore. Do not say that I'm not going to do reactions, because I will do Funny Fridays. I will do things like trailers and anime openings, but the fact that we're back, 30,000 strong, 33,000 strong, and that we can continue to make these shows and these videos and entertain you, I am beyond proud. And I thank you all for your patience and your support in everything that I went through. Thank you, all. This has meant the world to me, and I appreciate all of you more than you know. Thank you. I'm gonna go now. I'll see you on the next video. Make sure to be there. On this channel we made it. Make sure to be there and have a good one.